Salutations guys, it's Dante here with a brand new episode of the Resource Pack Roundup. Let's go! So today we're looking at the McKnack pack by T2 Wave and McKnackers. It's 1.11.2 and it's clean, simple, vivaciously vibrant and just a little bit stripy. Moving to the flowers where we normally start, you can see these seem to be default flowers, but they're actually slightly more detailed and a lot more colourful. You can tell just by looking at the sunflower, instead of the normal orange seed, inside you have a nice little black speckled spot. And it really looks nice. It's a very subtle effect. Talking about subtle and colourful, the podzol in the flower bed looks really nice. I love the mixture of colours there. Moving along to the brick ship house. Excuse me, friend. They're queuing up to get inside. You can see we have a really luxurious, lush looking jungle plank here. Love the two-toned nature. The brick here looks really nice, really rich. I love the purple highlights, really sets everything off. Now going into the room of detail, now we've got rid of these zombie friends. Everything looks really nicely detailed, everything looks really custom. I would say the shulker boxes aren't the best thing in the pack, but again they look really nice. Now we have a custom clock and compass, not something you get in every pack, and we have a custom workbench. I love when somebody adds extra storage to a workbench. Now inside the workbench we have a custom UI. Again it's the two-toed planks, does look like it's the jungle plank, not too sure on that. Love the gunpowder and little flute there. Now with the utilities we have our dispenser, dropper, hopper, and furnace, and again the furnace has a really nice cobble effect UI, and of course we have the observer block which has a normal disdainful face. Who did something to you? Who touched you? But moving on, we have the cauldron here and the paintings, and of course we have our jukebox. Now with regards to the chests here, you can tell we have our regular chest here, and again love the UI. I think it might be birch or oak. I'd have to double check. And we have our trap chest. Now you can tell between the two. It's a very, again I'm going to use subtle effect. We have here just a normal dark latch. And on the trap chest we have the little dark red spots. Very tricky, but it is noticeable for those who care to pay attention. Now in some angles you can see it doesn't look like you can see the red spots, which is a little bit tricky, but that doesn't happen too often. I'm having to try to make that happen here. Now, we have our note block here, our ender chest and the usual stuff. I love the curly bits on the brewing stands. And of course we have our beds. Now, a sign of a great pack is when a bed works as both a single bed and a double, and you can tell that's definitely the case here. We have our anvils. And for me, one of the main piece de resistances of this pack, the armour. Not many packs actually bother to do a custom chainmail. It looks really nice here. And the shading on the diamond armour is really unique. It's very bright, fading into a darker blue. And that carries across to the tools. So as you can see, it's the lighter diamond colour. And all of them look the same. But if you do notice with the swords, again going to say subtle, but the hilt stroke handles of the swords are all unique. That's so professional. I absolutely love the way they've done that. Now from the room of detail to the room of stuff, we have our big booger blocks here. We have our exclamation marks on our TNT. Very Metal Gear Solid. And I love the swirliness of the redstone lamp here. This is going to look great in the TARDIS later on when we get there. Now with the entities, the foodstuffs over here, they all appear to have a custom skin to them. Not sure if there's anything missing. It definitely doesn't look like it. But let's move along. Now the grass again carries on that stripiness, really fits in, but nothing too special there. So heading into Interpol. I think the only custom mob here, either hostile or friendly, are the creepers, looking very dark and creepy, and they do look slightly cactus-ish. I wouldn't want to face them in a desert, very hard to see. So we're going to skip most of the mobs. They all pretty much look the same as default, apart from the spider, which has a very tarantula kind of look to them. Now again, villagers look very similar, so we'll just hop along upstairs and have a look at the paintings in detail. Oh, let's head on up. Oh, and that's the door. Modern convenience, eh? Okay, looking at the paintings, it's all based on classic video games from what I can tell. Now, if we have a closer look, you can see here we have what I think is a Roblox. We have Link with his ocarina. I think that's Dig Dug. Maybe Ryu or International Karate. Okami. And we have Zero Suit Samus standing there with her big purple people, please. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Samus. I'm interrupting. Let's move along. So again, Dig Dug and what I think might be a Space Marine, maybe. I absolutely love the paintings here. Again, a really nice touch on this pack. And some of them really do work well as computer screens. I really love this one here. Now the stained glass, again, another really professional, great looking detail. Not going to say subtle. The edges are faded, so very speckled and striped, a lot like the middle. So it's a really a kind of a clean detail, a clean effect on the stained glass. If we move to the panes here, you can see added together, they look slightly cracked, slightly chipped, like it's worn out glass. I think that could probably work on any kind of pack. Yep, definitely adds an extra layer of detail. So let's head into the TARDIS. Okay, so as I said in the TARDIS of Wonders, you can see the stripiness really works. And everything works together. The cross-hatching, the shading on the blocks up here, the block of iron, is slightly distracting. But again, it does work. So let's change the desktop. And here we are deeper in the TARDIS and we have our stones and ores. Now, I will say the stone looks really good. It carries on the crisp, clean and detailed aesthetic. Though my only real negative comment on the stones is that the bedrock is maybe sticks out a bit too much. It's a bit on the nose with it. You shall not pass with the X on it. Maybe this is slightly more muted. It would stick out slightly less. Work with the rest. Now with the ores, I love the different ore variations here. All different colours. They're all the same shape, with the exception of the emerald, which is exactly the same but on its side. Now, I think that might stick out a bit too much, where all of the others are colour swaps. Maybe if there's slightly fewer of the crops, say only 2 or 3 of the green patches, that might be a better way of approaching it. But when the pack creator has been so right with all of the other choices, who am I to comment? And of course we have the black, the silver, the gold, the green, and of course the blue diamond. Now of course we have the colour change from the wool to the clay, and it's the usual slight pinkish addition. So let's head on out to the farm. Here we are at Elysian Farm, and starting off with the melons, they really do look bright and yummy and scrumptious. The wheat looks really gold rich, slightly sunburnt the way it should do. And the pumpkins, what do you say about the pumpkins? They all look slightly stunned, and the jack-o'-lanterns are brilliant. Now when I last looked at this pack a few years ago, I did comment that there was no real shading to the jack-o'-lanterns. They looked like they were stuffed with cheese. Well, that's definitely been fixed. You can see a real good attempt at shading there. Really looks nice now. I love it when a pack creator takes on comments and makes changes. Now we have custom horse armour, something again which is quite rare, a lot like chainmail armour. All of it is custom. I don't think the donkey's chests are custom, but again, that's something which very few people change. Now the animals don't really need any attention, they are custom, much like the other hostile and friendly mobs, although we do have the evil moose shroom, the sheep, and everything else. Also, much like the others, I believe it's a custom Mr. Barky and Alita, so let's head on up. Okay, now looking down at the pack, everything looks colourful, bright and luscious. And the striping definitely adds a feel of extra detail to all of the builds, as you can tell on the roof down there. Now, it's just on the razor thin edge of maybe looking a little too busy, but I think it has got the balance right. So if you've got a build where you want to have the illusion of extra detail, this pack definitely works. Now let's head on into the Nether. So here we are in the Nether, and everything looks absolutely stunning. I have to say, the Nether brick is really nice. It has really nice shades of burgundy, crimson and dark scarlet. It does look a bit like a cinema carpet, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Definitely something I want to walk on. Now as for the mobs, again they are vanilla. I think that the magma cubes are a custom texture, but again everything else is pretty much vanilla. Definitely the Enderman. So working on the blocks, of course we have our red nether brick here. I love the additional shading and the much brighter look to it, and the netherrack is really good. Again, it does work with the nether brick. It does look a bit like again a cinema carpet. That's not a bad thing. It does look detailed, and of course we have our striping quartz here. The nether quartz ore looks really good. It definitely stands out. So if you're somebody who likes to collect your nether quartz, very easy to do in this pack. And of course we have the jelly bean effect glowstone, something you do find in a few packs, but well pulled off here. Now with the soul sand, my only complaint is I don't really feel there's a soul in the soul sand. There's no real hint of a face, and I think soul sand is always something which is nice to have a little laugh at in a pack. Now heading across to look at the nether as a whole, it is really cohesive, which is the watchword of a really good pack. The nether quartz ore does poke out, but not in a bad way, and everything really works together. And the lava has a great bright animation, and it doesn't flicker like it can in some packs. And of course I am not forgetting a torch fans. Now let's head over to the area of Judgement, guys. So here we are in the area of Judgement, and we have our lovely cherry berry cakes, and there are no cherries or berries. It seems we have a strawberry fondant here. Now again, like the glowstone, we have a swirl rather than a stripe, but it does look delicious. I really want to munch on those cakes. Now the stronghold section really pays off by having a nice bright lava here. The bars look a little simple, but everything it does work because it's bright and simple and detailed, much like the brick. And again, you can see here the stone brick is delightful. The portal blocks, they are really ornate. I love the little eyes on them. Heading across to the end section, I apologise, this one does make me laugh slightly because this is the end stone does look a little bit like a Yoshi egg, and bless the poor Yoshi that pops out a square, pops out a cube egg like that. Ow! Now the endstone brick really looks good. I love the play on the original endstone here, and the obsidian here is really unique. I love the tree trunk kind of cross section here. Maybe you can count how old it is, and again I think it is unique to this pack. So as we head across to the area of Judgement, you can see here we have maybe a slightly medieval, very detailed looking sponge. But let's think about the pack as a whole. So as you can tell, guys, this is a really beautiful pack. Now for the pros, it's very colourful, very bright and definitely fun. The aesthetics very clean, very stylised, very detailed. I love the stripes and the swirls, they really play well together. And of course it's very complete. You have the horse armor, you have the chainmail, you have the entities, anything you can think of in blocks, they have been done. Now of course some people will consider the vanilla mobs a definite plus. Some people really like to have everything look the way it should do, so you're never confused between a zombie or a villager. Now as for the cons, there's very few, but I would say that no soul in the soul sand is definitely a downside, at least for me. Because that's one of the unique things of Minecraft. Soul sand. Now, a downside to some people, will be the vanilla mobs. Some people will definitely think that it's a custom pack, everything should look custom, but that's going to vary from person to person. But what I would say for this pack is it is amazing. Guys, please follow the link in the description, download this pack and give your feedback to T2 Wave for all of his hard work on this pack and being really nice and replying to my comments. Guys, T to the T to the F to the N, ta-ta for now, bye.